topic today is visual aids for academic presentation. Visual aids can be a very powerful tool to enhance the impact of your presentations. Words and images presented in different formats can appeal directly to your audience's imagination, adding power to your spoken words. There are many different types of visual aids, such as PowerPoint, white or blackboard, paper handouts, flip chart, video, and artifacts or props. Microsoft PowerPoint is probably now the most commonly used form of visual aids. Used well, it can really help you in your presentation. Used badly, however, it can have the opposite effect. Now, let's learn how to create a PowerPoint for academic presentation in terms of layout, bullet points, animations, citations, and references. Think of the layout of your PowerPoint as visual rhetoric that takes the main ideas of your speech and codes them into symbolic points. The most effective layout depends on consistency. Be sure that bullet points, length of points, color of points and text, and the size of text are consistent. The size of text needs to be at least 32 to be visible on the projector. Selecting a layout from the Design tab is the easiest way to maintain consistency, size of font, and color scheme. Bullet points should emphasize key ideas, not contain the idea word for word. If the audience must move their eyes more than twice to read the point, there are too many words after the bullet. Keep bullets short, to the point, containing only a couple of words. Do not exceed more than one subpoint because the audience will get lost. The subpoint should emphasize a main point, but not be information that should be explained by the speaker. To maintain a professional appearance, moderate and subtle animations such as ascent and appeal can be used to attract the audience to a point. If animations are too flashy, they begin to distract the audience. The animation is most effective when used consistently. Avoid flashing transitions such as dissolve in an academic presentation. Citations in a slideshow appear credible in APA or MLA format at the bottom of the slide or directly after information. References at the end of a slideshow are not necessary unless specified by the professor. References are, however, required in the speech outline. Remember, an academic presentation does not use PowerPoint to drive or present speech word by word. Instead, an academic presentation uses PowerPoint to convey information, help the speaker stay on track, and interpret the presented materials. White or blackboards can be very useful to explain the sequence of ideas or routines, particularly in the sciences. Use them to clarify your title or to record your key points as you introduce your presentation. And this will give you a fixed list to help you recap as you go along. Rather than expecting the audience to follow your spoken descriptions of an experiment or process, write each stage on the board, including any complex terminology or precise references, to help your audience take accurate notes. Check to make sure your audience has taken down a reference before rubbing it off. There is nothing more frustrating than not being given enough time. Handouts are incredibly useful. Use a handout if your information is too detailed to fit on a slide, or if you want your audience to have a full record of your findings. Consider the merits of passing around your handouts at the beginning, middle, and end of a presentation. Given too early, and they may prove a distraction. Given too late, and your audience may have taken too many unnecessary notes. Giving out in the middle and your audience will inevitably read rather than listen. One powerful way of avoiding these pitfalls is to give out incomplete handouts at key stages during your presentation. You can then highlight the missing details vocally, encouraging your audience to fill in the gaps. A flip chart is a large pad of paper on a stand. It is a very useful and flexible way of recording information during your presentation. You can even use pre-prepared sheets for key points. Record information as you go along, keeping one main idea to each sheet. Flip back through the pad to help you recap your main points. Use the turning of a page to show progression from point to point. Remember to make your writing clear and readable, and your diagrams as simple as possible. Video gives you a chance to show stimulating visual information. Use video to bring movement, pictures, and sound into your presentation. Always make sure that the clip is directly relevant to your content. Tell your audience what to look for. Avoid showing any more film than you need. Sometimes it can be very useful to use artifacts or props when making a presentation. If you bring an artifact with you, make sure that the object can be seen and be prepared to pass it around a small group or move to different areas of a large room to help your audience view it in detail. Remember that this will take time, and that when the audience is immersed in looking at an object, they will find it hard to listen to your talk. Conceal large props until you need them. They might distract your audience's attention. Finally, always check your equipment to make sure that it works and it is the equipment you are familiar with. There is nothing worse than a presenter struggling with his visual aids. A confident use of visual aids will help integrate them into your spoken presentation and become part of an impressive performance. In this session, we talked about how to use visual aids, PowerPoint, white or blackboard, paper handouts, flip charts, video, and artifacts or props to help deliver academic presentation. We have to learn to use visual aids to display complex information clearly and introduce variety into delivery techniques. Make sure you are familiar with the equipment and deploy visual aids creatively in your presentation to create an impact. When you progress in your academic studies, you will increasingly understand that your fluency in academic oral communication plays an important role in your academic performance and further career. I hope this module will help equip you with effective communicational strategies, overcome common language challenges, and build self-confidence when you participate in a range of different academic interactions. Thanks for your attention. Bye.